Her first name is Leslie, and it's a question for Jill. How can I qualify for VRS? Okay, for VRS work, specifically, they want qualifications of there's no specific qualifications you must have. Some companies do want some certifications, but I'm not really sure about that one. But what you do need is a test, like a screening for that. But if you pass the screening and you can work VRS, you should graduate from an ITP program unless you have a lot of experience. But it would be good to have a lot of diverse knowledge before entering VRS. But I would say, in general, if you can handle generalist topics and people, then you'd be qualified. Okay, this is from Caitlin. She said, my son is 5, and there's a missing bone structure in his middle ear. His first language is ASL, and when people ask, I've always told them he is hard of hearing. Recently, this teacher told me never to use the words hard of hearing, and especially not hearing impaired, because that means he has a disability. As a mother, I don't see him as disabled, but she said the teacher called him deaf, that's it. So do I have to call him? And does he have to say that he's deaf? Or, but he does have some hearing. And I thought deaf was for people who don't hear at all. But I don't know, so maybe you can answer my questions or answer. Is it hard of hearing and hearing impaired a problem? Or you call yourself deaf? Or what does it mean to you? So they are questions. I have a few different answers. First, hearing impaired, that's considered offensive. It really implies that you're broken and that you need to be fixed, and that's not the point of it. So let's put that aside. But deaf, hard of hearing, that's really up to you, your kid, and how they feel or develop that their identity is. The difference between hard of hearing and deaf is that deaf tends to emphasize you're deaf or deaf enough. And for me, I'm deaf, but I can still hear some, but I call myself deaf. Hard of hearing tends to be more like later in life hearing loss, or you can talk, you can use a phone. There's some loss, but it's not a complete loss. There's some, it's like kind of a middle ground kind of a thing. It's really up to you. And how do you label yourself? Are you deaf or hard of hearing? And there's like a lowercase deaf or a capital D deaf, so whichever you prefer. Lowercase deaf is like an identification or cultural deaf rather than that. So I wouldn't worry about it. Just let your child decide as they develop. The hard of hearing isn't a very offensive word. Many people say hard of hearing, and it's fine. It's not offensive at all. It's just hearing impaired. That's a little not the best. Next one's from Terry. What's the best way to practice signing by yourself if you don't have someone to practice with? Watch different videos, deaf people signing, try to see how do they sign, and your own signing, and see if you can match that. It doesn't have to be 100%, but do you have the concepts? Are you matching the signs? You can look at English sentences and translate that, or sign them, or use the signs and that will really help you pick it up a lot better. And we actually made a whole video about that, so I will link it down below, and I have a card over here or over there, one of those sides. Is it over there? I don't know. It's in the cloud. I don't know. Somewhere over there, I think. Or right there. Boop. We'll have that for you. The whole video specifically, but we'll have a clip about that. The next one is from Instagram, 11 Gracie 112. How long have you been an interpreter for? I've been an interpreter since January of 2008. Ooh. And that's what I remember. Almost 9 years. Yep, almost 9 years, almost 10 years. Yay! You're old. Yes, very. I'm growing a beard. You have white hair. A lot of white hair. No, I don't. She does. I can see one right there. It's Chris. Is the next one. What's your position on hearing people getting involved in the deaf culture and learning sign? Really, it's important that you respect them. You want to learn sign, you want to join the community, show respect. Accept what they're telling you. You know, don't criticize or like say, oh, I'm right, I know the right way. That's not a good thing to make a good impression. Just understand it's fine. You'll be okay. You're fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Liz Beth Calfaro has the next question. Does Jenna have any interpreter pet peeves? Anything I should know before I become an interpreter? Just pick one. You can name a few. Nothing, because all interpreters are perfect. Right, that. So number one, when you're finger spelling words, finger spell them clearly. Don't go blah blah blah. Spell them clearly so I understand them. Number two, don't fall asleep. It's happened before, it's happened to me. I'm sorry, it's not funny. Yeah, they fell asleep. Don't guess or take over for a deaf person or say something without their permission. Don't assume. Let them lead the conversation. You're just mediating, that's all. You're just translating. You can say something that you hear or there's a cue, but don't assume and take over and let me explain a little bit. No, that's not. Let them feel powerful. Let them feel like it's their own thing. I can list more, but those are the few most important things. Maybe just make a different video discussing what to do and what not to do. That's a good idea. We'll put that down. Ute.gpg is the next question. What's the outlook for interpreters, or who want to become an interpreter with a disability? If they use a wheelchair or a service dog, can they still be a good job? Are they still capable? The answer to that is yes. You can become an interpreter even if you have a disability. I know some interpreters have one leg missing, part of their leg missing. And I know one specific interpreter who has, I think, 4 fingers. But they can still interpret just fine. I personally don't know any specific interpreters in a wheelchair, but I don't think that matters. I mean, as long as you can be clear, then it shouldn't matter, I guess. I mean, I would say if you're missing an entire arm, maybe not a professional interpreter. It'd be hard to be clear, but maybe you still could. I don't know. maybe becoming a voice-only interpreter, that would be something you could do maybe. You could sign only, or for example, there are CDIs, which, I mean, that's not, I'm not saying it's for that reason, but they don't voice, and they have someone else there to voice for you. Really, it just depends on what your disability is, or maybe you can speak with the company for a specific reason, or other interpreters, like teaming. I would say figure out your abilities, not availabilities. You want to become an interpreter, maybe, but talk with an interpreter agency. It doesn't matter if you don't need to sign with them right now, but I have a disability. Would it be possible for an agent to talk with an agency? If I sign, I have good skills. I'm not 100% sure, but just because you have a disability doesn't mean that you can't become an interpreter. Of course not. Lady Magic 31. How do you handle awkward situations while interpreting? How do you maintain professionalism? Awkward situations will happen. Most of the time, I try to think neutral, keep my face blank, or there's not much that you can do. You laugh a little bit or something, but if everyone is laughing, sometimes you have to be able to snicker, but it's not a big deal. To maintain professionalism, try to be neutral always. Don't show me too many facial expressions. I think that's the best thing you can do. It does happen sometimes. The next question is from Girl of the Seas. She had a long story about going to the store with deaf people coming in and any other things, but as a hearing person, other than learning sign language, what do you think would be a better way to provide a better customer service for your community? Is there a way of making the store a public place, deaf community? Accessibility. If you have a video, a TV, put the captions on. That way people can see, they can understand. If that's possible, if you have your own video that doesn't have captions or anything like that, maybe having some sort of text or flyer or a transcript, something. Trying to make it equal for deaf people so they can read or something like that. That would be really great. I would say other people having workers or paper and pencil. If you want to sign, it's fine, but having a pen and paper to communicate is always good. I think that would be really good. Make sure that there's enough light, it's very visual. There's any sort of pathways or something, make it a little wider if possible. Deaf people tend to walk side by side. Just in general, attitude. Don't scare or ignore deaf people. Make sure people know what's going on or what deaf really means. Like making them more aware is really going to make a difference. I think that's good. Thanks for asking that and trying to improve your score. Elizabeth Calfro. She put a link for a video that said, please react to this. So I just looked at it. I didn't know what it was, so I've seen it before. It's from Wells Fargo. It's a commercial. Get something on your face. And there's two women who are learning sign language, and at the end, the two of them are adopting a little deaf girl, saying, hi, we're going to be your new moms, we love you, and she wanted us to react to that. I think it's a cute commercial. It really shows the willingness to learn about the deaf child language. They're making an effort and showing that they're really motivated, and I think that's nice to see. It's cute. And yeah, we're mothers, So that's so cute. We're really excited. And the little girl is just so adorable and it's just, oh, it's so cute. I thought it was a really good representation. Plus, lesbian people adopting. Yay! Yes. We have quite a lot more questions, but we're going to go ahead and do a part 2. We'll release that later. So now we are going to end the video for today. So hopefully you liked part 1 of the Q&A. And I'm happy we got a lot of questions so far, and I'm sorry it was quite a long time. We tried our best to answer. It just takes some time. So if you like this video, please click like, subscribe, and if you want to support us, look down below at a few different links. Patreon. See which ones you like. And you can do a one-time donation. We really appreciate all of that support, and it's always appreciated. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.